Hello and welcome back to the Skipper's View podcast. Sunday, July 20th here, right after the All-Star break. We got Hagen coming in right off a round to shoot 96. We love that. Dean knocked out a couple more games on his 162 MLB challenge earlier on the live stream. And a week from today, our fearless leader will be married. So I'll be home this week. I'm heading home to go get that kid hitched. Super excited. Before we dive into it, as always, Chinook Seedery. If you're looking into sunflower seeds, want 10% discount, use the Skipper's View as a discount code to get 10% off seeds from Chinook. Hagen, we got to start with the Brew crew, man. They are on fire right now. Take us down. They just swept the Dodgers. What were your big thoughts coming out of the All-Star break and pounding LA?
I mean, they swept them right before the All-Star break, and then they swept them after the All-Star break, too. I know the Dodgers have been on the slide lately, but this is huge for Milwaukee. I mean, as we're sitting here right now, I know the Tigers, they're in the bottom of the eighth right now, leading 2-1 on Sunday Night Baseball. But right now, the Brewers are now tied with the Cubs and the Tigers for the best record in all of Major League Baseball at 59-40. This is, you said it a couple of months ago that you thought the Brewers were going to win the division, and I was a little against that. But, I mean, it's close now. I mean, the Brewers and Cubs obviously tied in that division, especially at the top of the Major League Baseball right now. This is huge for Milwaukee. And what I wanted to point out, too, is if you just look at just WRC plus leaders, the best hitter on the Brewers, like everyone expected to be in this winning streak, is Andrew Vaughn. In 25 plate appearances, he has a 218 WRC plus, 12 RBIs, 2 leading the team, .4 F4. This is huge because Andrew Vaughn, might be one of the best stretches of his career, honestly, right now. I don't know what to be up there with, but I don't remember this many stretches of him being this good. I mean, the offense as a whole is just great right now. Durbin's playing really good. Frelick's playing very good. Collins, Yelich, Chorio's picking it back up, too, now that we start in the second half. This is huge for the Brewers. And on the pitching side, too, I mean, second best ERA in baseball. In 73 innings, they got a 2.49 ERA, 3.1 FIP. This is huge for Milwaukee, and they're like you expect them to be every single year. They're right at the top. No matter what the roster looks like, you know they're always going to be up there in that playoff race.
Yeah, my big thing, and I think this is how I'm just looking at teams going forward permanently. I don't know where you stand on this. Clearly, it's nice to have both weapons on the offensive and defensive side of the ball. And I think baseball is very similar to the NFL, where defenses can literally change teams. And they're like NBA, it's like, oh, he's really good at defense, but it's the NBA. They put up 130 points a night if they want. In MLB, you cannot fake pitching. And that's why I think I was so bullish on Milwaukee, is because they are a pitching factory. And any time that you throw a guy out on the mound who has the advantage over a lineup, and the Milwaukee Brewers seem to really be able to do this well. I love seeing it. And Milwaukee's had their fair share of injuries. Like Brandon Woodruff just got back. He just got back. Logan Henderson's been in his 4 starts. He had a historic start, and he's now sitting in AAA for them. Mizorowski's been absurd since his call up, like to the big leagues. And Quinn Priester, he just had a 10K performance this week. Like, they get the most out of their pitching, and that's not even commenting like guys like Abner Uribe in the bullpen. He's been disgusting this year. I really buy into Milwaukee and what they're doing. A lot of my fantasy teams, I'm doing well in a lot of fantasy leagues because my teams are made up of Milwaukee pitching. I can't lie. Like Abner Uribe in the bullpen. Most people who are like a casual fan don't even know who this guy is. 2.28 ERA, 2 wins, 1 save. He's the 71st ranked player in fantasy this year. He's got 60 Ks in 47 innings. Like that, they just pump guys out there that do this to you, and it's devastating to opposing lineups. They stifle you. I'm really happy for Milwaukee because they don't spend the most, but they will go out there and make moves to be competitive, and they also are able to put together a competitive product on the field without having to spend $1 billion a year on salary. So Milwaukee, really, really cool and fun team to watch. I am rooting for them over the Cubs, definitely in the Central. I'm a Cubs hater. That I had to live in Chicago for 4 years and deal with their fans. But yeah, and we, you know what we didn't even mention about the Brewers? Jackson Chourio. And like, are you a big Chourio guy? Do you think he's gonna have a big second half here? He's right now 266 average. He's a top 100 player ranked in fantasy according to Yahoo. His 757 OPS, which we know he could do better. 16 bombs. 62 ribbies, and 16 stolen bases. Like, this guy could have a 25-25 season and resurrect it with a higher batting average, and everyone will forget like kind of the first few months of like him not hitting as well as they expected.
And that's one thing too about Churio is he still can get that 25-25 season, and he started off slow just because we saw what he did in the second half last year. I mean, remember he started off slow last year, then he picked it up the second half, and I mean he started the season at 20 years old too at opening day, so it's this guy's very young, and it could just be I don't know if he had a down start or if he's just like that Julio Rodriguez type where it's just it takes him whatever it takes him 90 games to get going for some reason, and then he starts putting up that caliber where he's a top 20 player in all of baseball, which it sounds crazy for a 21, 22-year-old, but that's the way he's shown he can be, and he's a future superstar in this league, I would say.
Yeah. I don't really kind of consider him a super, like his talent is superstar level. His statistics are not yet. And I think he has the capability to change that in the second half. He's a guy like Julio Rodriguez, even how ugly like it might look for a little bit. Like, and I don't want to switch the subject to Julio and the Mariners, but real quickly, like Julio, 14 home runs, 17 stolen bases, 727 OPS, and 50 RBIs. Julio is another guy, superstar talent, can turn it around. And like the reason why I'm bringing this up, everyone considers Julio Rodriguez a superstar. And it's like Milwaukee still has this guy in the tank. They're like unleashed in the second half. So I think Milwaukee, if they, in my opinion, they need to be aggressive here at the deadline.
Oh, for sure. And just even too on the superstar aspect of Chorio, I mean, it's crazy we're already viewing him as he has a superstar talent. We've already seen it when he's 22 years old. If you just look at the age curves, he's got whatever 7 to 8 years to really hit his prime of an average major league player, which is absurd to talk about from a guy who's this young.
Yeah. Yeah. How old is he? Is he 22 or 23?
22. Or, yeah, 22.
Gotcha. Okay. So I think that's a good transition point. You know, the Brewers, the NL, the NL's loaded. And like you think about like next year too with the NL, by the way, and we'll talk about the Braves here in a little bit, but like looking at all the pieces that some of these contenders like the Diamondbacks and the Braves have to trade, and they can get some real prospects, and they're probably, let's think about it, they're more likely to trade out of the division and out of the league than keep guys in the National League, you would think, right? So it's like these teams are going to get some prospects back, and teams like the Dodgers, they're not going away. I want to dive deep on the National League because I think the National League is just so much more intriguing than the American League, at least right now. But one thing I want to talk about is superstars. And someone posed this question. I saw this on X earlier this week, and it was about Aaron Judge being considered the best Yankee player ever. I think this is a really good conversation because the question is not, is he the most decorated Yankee of all time? Is he the best Yankee to ever play the game of baseball? I had to sit and think about that because that is my team. And I understand by saying that is a hot take. I'm not all in on it. But Hagen, have you ever thought about this? Do you consider like this reign of dominance from Judge like Ruth, Gehrig, Mantle, DiMaggio, Barrow level, or is this, he's still got ways to go since he doesn't have that coveted title?
I mean, I'm a little different in some ways because I don't view that you have to get a title in essence to be named a great, especially in baseball. I mean, there's 26 guys on a team. What can one guy really do? I mean, obviously the Yankees are nowhere near what they are without Aaron Judge the last few years on what he's been doing. But I mean, we're already had the conversations of he's up there with the prime. His prime right now is up there with any right-handed hitter you want to go with in Major League Baseball history. And if you just look, like you said, too, he's not going to have those counting numbers, too. I mean, obviously, Babe Ruth has 148.5 F4. I mean, that's absurd. I believe that's the highest of all time. But Judge, I mean, for a franchise that's been around since 1901, maybe the most decorated, maybe the best franchise in any American sport, Aaron Judge is already seventh right now in F4. And he's 33, 34 years old. He has 58.7 F4 right now behind Babe Ruth, Lou Gehrig, Mickey Mantle, Joe DiMaggio, Derek Jeter, and Yogi Berra. And you know me, I'm not a big guy of these 1920, 1930s guys. So I don't think it's that crazy. I know it sounds crazy, but just talent-wise, I think Aaron Judge is the clear best Yankee player ever. I mean, he's an all-time talent. He's the best hitter since Barry Bonds right now. He's putting on. I mean, he can still break the best F4 in a single season this year, set by Babe Ruth. Which I mean, it's absurd. I mean, Judge can still. He's going to finish probably around 500, 550 home runs. He's at 350 right as we speak. This is. I don't think it's crazy to say he's the best Yankee of all time. Obviously, he's not going to have the counting stats for it.
Yeah, and the other thing is like Judge, he's a really good defender. Like it's not just the bat. The guy, he steals bags. He hits for power, obviously. He hits for high average, obviously. But he's a solid defender. And he, like, overall, he's getting on base for his career 41% of the time. His career, this season, he's getting on base 46% of the time. It's almost half the time he steps to the plate, he's getting on base. That is unreal. That is unreal. And they know it's coming, too. It's like, he is Bonds level. And that made me think, when I know I'm the one making the comparison here to Barry Bonds. When you are compared to Barry Bonds, though, overall, and that's not a hot take comparing what Aaron Judge has done to Barry Bonds. Like, I know someone out there is probably like, oh, Barry Bonds, but it's Aaron Judge is that good. He's not on the juice, as far as we know, and he's doing it against better pitching than there was in the early 2000s and the late, the 90s. Every single time we move forward, it's better pitching. So if you have comparable numbers over, I know it's hard to compare generation to generation, but if you are looking at just pitching alone, that is a huge factor to factor in. Like the numbers putting up at this time, maybe it's not the same high numbers that Barry Bonds put up in his career, but he wasn't juicing, and the pitching talent is just that much better right now. That being said, if Aaron Judge gets a World Series, if he continues this for another 3 years, I know Dean DM'd me after I put up a stat on Judge earlier. He's like, Aaron Judge is not getting to 600 home runs. You're high. And I was like, all right, like, I don't think he'll get there, but he's good the way he hits. Like, he's that good.
It just depends how long he really keeps this prime up for. I mean, I think even when he starts hitting whatever down to 270, 280 type, and he's 37 years old, I don't think it's crazy to say he's going to hit 30 home runs a year when he's 37, 38 years old, just with just the sheer power he has.
Yeah, and like he'll be 33 until next opening day. He'll be 33 going into next season. He's not like turning 34 like right away. Like he is 33, but he turns at April 26th. So like we'll be into the next season by the time he turns 34. I think most guys, like the way he's performing, really 37 is I feel like the cutoff, or between where you start like really find a significant dip in your production. You could see that again across guys in the league. But yeah, Aaron Judge, go tune into him. He is must-see TV right now, and it's we got like 5 guys in the MLB right now that are must-see TV. It's like every Skeen start, every Mizorowski start almost right now, every Skubal start, Aaron Judge, Shohei Ohtani. And there's probably someone I'm forgetting about off the top of my head, but those are must-see TV in my opinion. Anyone actually I'm missing that you can think of that's must-see right now? I'm trying to think. Like,
I mean, Wheeler's up there with Skeens. He's right there in conversation. PCA's been must-see this year. I know this year Bobby Witt hasn't been must-see, but I mean, Bobby Witt is still. I still stand on the fact where if I had to draft one player to start my franchise with in this moment, it's Bobby Witt Jr.
Yeah, Bobby Witt Jr. is another stud. Let's talk about the Braves now. I brought them up earlier. I want to get in depth about the Braves because I think the Braves have arguably the best opportunity to make their team better for 2026 this deadline. I looked at this and I was like, the Diamondbacks have a real good shot because they could sell so many of their veteran pieces. The Merrill Kellys of the world, Zach Gallen, Eugenio Suarez, they could sell, and I don't know what Lourdes Gurriel deal. Maybe he has like 2 more years on it, but I'll look that up. But the point is, the Braves could sell Sale, they could sell Iglesias, they could sell Morton, and they could sell Marcelo Zuna. Are you with me? Do the Braves have to be sellers come the deadline at this point?
Oh, 100%. I mean, the Braves are 12 games under 500. They're 10 and a half out of the wild card right now. We talked about the Diamondbacks, how they have to sell, and they're 6 games ahead of the Braves at this point. I mean, even the Braves could they could win every day for the next 12 days and they'd still probably be out of the playoff race. That's how crazy this is. I mean, I don't think, as a Mets fan too, I was very high that the Braves were winning this division coming into this year. So I do kind of like seeing that the Braves aren't doing well this year, but then it also does scare me because for how much they could really improve their team on a down farm kind of as well. This team could be scary in the next couple of years. And obviously, too, you brought up just some guys that could sell. I mean, Ozuna still has a 117 WRC plus this year. Raisel Iglesias, he's been struggling this year. But even, too, if you just look, I mean, he has a 5.12 ERA, but even his expected to 3.79. A lot of peripherals still look good for him. He's just getting barreled up a lot this year. Doesn't get much ground balls, but that's still an arm I think people would be willing to go out there and see if you can get something for him out there. I mean, it's just there's so many guys I think this Braves teams could sell, and I think I just wonder what you would get back for him. Like, what would you get for an Iglesias who's been down this year but has maybe some positive stuff in there you can still see? The Braves have just been, I don't know. It seems like every time this year that it seems like there was like 3 or 4 different times where they were down. You're waiting on them to start going again and go on a winning streak, and they would start doing that, and then it was like immediately would end because they just started doing something again that made them look like a bad baseball team, and that's what they've been this year, is not a good baseball team.
Yeah, they are the 6th worst team in baseball by record. They're the 4th worst in the National League. If the management is not moving to sell these big veteran pieces, yeah, you're not going to get a top 100 prospect for Charlie Morton at age 40-some. Like, you're not going to get top dollar for AC Iglesias. What do you need him for? What do you need either of those guys for right now? You don't. You need to look forward to Olsen, Acuna, Drake Baldwin, focus on a shortstop, and move guys to develop them. You made these great deals where you have so many young, controllable assets like Ronald Acuna, one of the most underpaid players in the major leagues. I don't care about the injury. He is one of the most underpaid players in MLB baseball based off production. And you have such a opportunity here with Strider, Schwellenbach, like, to go into next year heavy with and try and find some guys, not necessarily the big development projects who are 18 years old. Let's try and find someone for a mid-level college pitcher that you drafted in the 20th round that's doing okay. Get him into the bullpen. Get him, do something. Because this team, they need a shortstop, clearly, and they need help. Michael Harris has been bad. He's too talented not to rebound, in my opinion. He's going to rebound at some point.
He has to. I mean, he has been bad as an understatement. He has been awful.
He's been bad.
Literally one of the worst hitters in all of Major League Baseball. And even you said Charlie Morton, he is on the Orioles this year. But I do think a pitcher that they
I do keep saying Morton. Oh my God, I'm talking about Orioles selling Morton. I'm so sorry. My bad. Keep going.
But I think a pitcher too that I know if he brings it to Braves fans, they kind of say it's crazy. If I'm the Braves, I would look into moving Chris Sale. I know it's only $18 million next year. I know it's around market value for a starting pitcher. And when he's on the field, it's going to be great. But if you just went out and signed a pitcher this offseason, I mean, your rotation's still pretty solid. I mean, you have Strider lead the rotation there. I know Schwellenbach's down. I don't remember how long he's going to be out for, how much he's going to miss next year. But if you have Strider and Schwellenbach as a 1-2, I think anybody would love that for the Braves. Obviously, you wouldn't have Sale in there, but you could get something pretty good for Chris Sale. And I don't think it's that crazy. I think you have to at least listen to offers on him.
They could trade Ozzy Albies. They could.
That's one that people do say a lot. I mean, especially because he has the 2 club options at $7 million in 26 and 27. I think you could, but I feel like for how cheap that is, I mean, get $7 million to earn that value-wise, you don't even have to be that good of a player. I mean, for Ozzy Albies' sake. I mean, he doesn't have to be 70% of himself. That's worth that contract there. So for an everyday second baseman out there as a switch hitter, I think you can't move him, in my opinion.
And the one other guy, and I know earlier I was saying more, Sean Murphy. Sean Murphy is movable. I know people are going to argue with that one as well. You have Drake Baldwin, who looks like a top 5 dynasty catcher here. He is very good and very young. He could hit. I need the Braves to be aggressive here, not only to make it interesting at the deadline for all these other contenders, because I want to see the news and just talk about it. It's just the smart thing to do. I did know they did make comments that they're not going to trade anyone. I'm pretty sure I heard this week, that they're not going to move anyone who has more control beyond next year. Like, so there's anyone with any control, they're not looking to move. They're just looking to move like the guys, like the Ozunas of the world. But I think they can get really aggressive, and it would bode well for them for the next 3 to 5 years, rather than looking at this year and not trying to move guys, or next year alone when they're trading.
And even too, like, I mean, going into this year, I was an advocate that this was the second best roster in all of Major League Baseball from a talent aspect. It just shows that you have 3 guys just with on contracts that are going to be expiring that you can get rid of right away. People are going to want those guys on your team, even if they haven't been playing their best, honestly. And I'm glad you brought up Sean Murphy, too, because I know he's under team control until there's a club option in 2029 at $15 million each year until then. But there's been some like smoke around him on whether it seems like he's going to get moved. I think Baldwin's obviously the big reason for that. But I'm very interested to see if he does get moved, on who would be interested, because he's still, I mean, he slugs as a catcher DH for him. But I do just wonder if they would want to move him just in case that Baldwin has that sophomore slump. I mean, we just see guys where, how often do you see a guy who's rookie put up great numbers, and I know Baldwin's been great this year, in rookie of the year front runner right now, but what if Major League Baseball figures him out next year and he has regression? And let's say even that's down to a league average hitter, which is still good for a catcher, honestly. But I'm very curious to see if they do move Sean Murphy, because I think that'd be the only guy I feel like, honestly, who has more control, or at least a decent amount of control, that they would consider moving.
Yeah. No, that's a fair point. That's a fair point on Baldwin. Let's jump into some of the news and notes. Obviously, we have a few things here, but obviously we just had the All-Star break, so a lot of guys came back. A lot of guys, are still, just recovering from those IL 10 spots. And like, we did have a few big injuries this week, but I'm going to, we'll start with the National League and then jump into the American League. So Connor Norby, he's going to miss 6 to 8 weeks. He underwent surgery for a hamate bone fracture in his left hand. That's kind of a blow to Miami, who's been looking good. Norby is going to be there for a while. I think Bendix is building this team with Norby in the plans of being one of the core staples of the lineup there at second base. So we look to see him back as soon as possible, but he's going to be out for some time now. Alec Baum, another third baseman, lands 10-day IL with a fractured rib. Philly, they're in the hunt as well. I think, Hagen, and you could take this one. Do you think Philly might get the most aggressive out of any team at the deadline? I think they might, arguably. Their time is like, it's coming up. That's what I'm saying. Like, they don't have Schwarber, Harper, Real Muto, Wheeler, and all these guys for that much longer.
I mean, I've always said, too, about how Dombrowski, he's not afraid to make that big move and just say, I don't really care who the prospect is, maybe besides Andrew Painter. But I think they got to be very aggressive here. I mean, this bullpen's got to be shored up. I know there was a signing earlier we can talk about in a little bit, but I think they got to be very aggressive here, especially because, like I said, their window's closing. I mean, Harper's only getting older. Schwarber's a free agent after this year. You really don't have much longer in this window. I mean, it seemed like the perfect time to do that was the 2022 World Series they were in. It seemed like after they missed out on that, it was like, oh, wow, that might have been their shot. I know they've been very good this year, but I think you got to get aggressive with your Philly, because I think Dombrowski's got to make the big move this year. I think you just got to say, whatever, one of your top prospects, you just say, screw it. I'm not holding on to this. I have to worry about right now. I have to worry about this right now and my team right now in this window, because it might be worth it. You might lose the trade overall just from a value perspective. If, let's say, you give away a top prospect, let's say an Andrew Painter for sake. Trade away him, yeah, you might lose him because you don't get the career from him, but if it's worth it to get a World Series now, I think it is.
Yeah, I think they have to. Anyone besides Andrew Painter is on the movable list for me for Philly. Obviously, I don't have a say in that, but I think Philly's got to make a move. And you mentioned it; they signed David Robertson to the bullpen earlier. Veteran, has save experience. I think that's great. Do I think he's going to be the overall closer? I don't know, especially because they do have Jordan Romano. They have. What's his face coming back from? Alvarado will be back sooner rather than later. I forgot how many games he got. 80 for substance
81,
abuse.
I believe, but he won't be able to pitch in the postseason.
Yeah, so they're gonna still have to go get like a Horacio Iglesias or something. But I don't think the Braves are going to move Iglesias in division to the Phillies. But the nice thing about the deadline, relievers come from all over the place. So it could be guys we don't even know. They have some talent. Orion Kirkring's bound to bounce back a little bit.
And
But yeah,
real quick, just on them signing David Robertson, I just thought it was funny too because it seems like ever since spring training, the Phillies have been talking to David Robertson about they're going to sign him. It seems like it was always Phillies who were in on him, going to sign him, and they wait till 100 games into the season to finally pay him what he wanted to, whether or he came down, whatever it was. But it's just funny because it seemed like they were always the main team in on him, which is good. And I wonder too how long it's going to take him because obviously he's been throwing and stuff, but he's going to need a little bit of a build-up period for pitching to hitters and stuff like that. And then I don't really know how much you can. I know he was great last year, but you can't really rely on a dude to be your closer, eighth inning guy when he hasn't pitched all year and he's going to be 38 years old. I think it's just you can't rely on that and say, "Oh yeah, we're good after that." You have to go get another reliever or two.
oh for sure. They're if they don't, they failed. They failed the deadline. Like whoever they sign, they can go get Eugenio Suarez to replace Alec Baum right now. And I still think you failed the deadline because you need pitching. You need high leverage experience pitching in the bullpen and in the rotation in order to go win, World Series. It's a fact. You need good pitching to win these things. But we'll move on. Braves, they signed Dane Dunning from Texas in exchange. Well, I shouldn't say signed. They acquired Dane Dunning from the Rangers in exchange for Jose Ruiz. Interesting. Dane Dunning's a name, but we just talked about the Braves are pretty much out of this thing, and by pretty much they are out of the playoffs. They're not going to make it. I'm going to let you take this one. Take the Mets. We got a couple things go on this week with the Mets.
Yeah, so obviously it was a big weekend for the Mets. I mean, one of the biggest, honestly, in franchise history, I would say, at least as my time as a Mets fan, just because it was the weekend of David Wright this year. I mean, retired as number 5 on yesterday on Saturday. It was a great weekend because obviously David Wright's the best position player in Mets history, was the captain. It's the way I view it as what a captain should be is what David Wright was. And you hear that. It's the first guy there to show up, always there for his guys, same guy every single day. He was my childhood. Like that's who I grew up. That was the first baseball player that I fell in love with was David Wright. I mean, so it was a special weekend for that. Obviously, just special weekend for Mets in general, just to see him get that because I mean, even too, he was 8th in F4 through his age 31 season since 2000. He was on a Hall of Fame trajectory until he had those back injuries, the spinal stenosis. I mean, it was sad to see the way his career ended, and it was cool to just kind of remember that. Is because I feel like he went away so fast from the Mets, and it sucks he wasn't able to get a World Series out of it. But I don't really. He got one there for us, and it sucked that it was on this decline, but it was awesome to just relive David Wright's career and just remember how good he really was. I mean, there was obviously ended really sad, and that's what Mets fans feel like remember a lot of. But it was really awesome to see him get his moment and see number 5 retired and knowing that no one's ever going to wear that again for New York. And
Yeah.
And just another move the Mets made this weekend. They signed veteran reliever Kevin Herget yesterday. I mean, through 4 seasons, the right-hander, he's got a 4.53 career ERA. I don't think this is anything too big. I think this is just another David Stearns bullpen guy. Bring him in for it could be 2 games. We've seen David Stearns sign guys for a game, DFA him, then maybe signs him back. That's happened a few times this year, but I wouldn't expect him to last in this bullpen too long. I think it's more just we need a body right now.
Yeah, and one last thing about David Wright, like, dude, everyone in New York loved this guy. Like, I grew up on Long Island with every Mets fan. Like, they love David Wright. Like, the Jose Reyes, David Wright teams, they're legendary. They're legendary for New York fans. So this was a big deal. I love using this expression. I don't love using it in this circumstance because I agree with you. Had David Wright not gone down injury road, I think he would have a fair case for the Major League Baseball Hall of Fame. The problem is he did. He's a career 300 hitter with 49.2 WAR and 240 bombs. So he batted 300 and had 240 bombs, like north of 240 bombs. He also almost was at 200 career stolen bases, 30 RBIs from that. So like he almost had sick accolades and stolen bases, batting average, home runs, and total RBI. Like he was a very, very good player. And I love seeing this. I had a bunch of friends go to the game. It was all over my social media feeds. People going to see David Wright, like people making sure to put that one on the calendar of going to that game to honor David Wright. So kudos to David Wright. Unfortunately, he'll be in the Hall of Very Good. That's the expression. But do you have his jersey, by the way?
Yes, I do. I mean, I have a jersey. I have a Yankees bat.
If
I
you
mean,
don't,
David Wright was my first ever. Before I was a Jacob deGrom guy, I was a big David Wright guy.
okay, fair enough.
That was my
Fair enough.
childhood favorite player growing up.
Yeah, and for good reason. For good reason. Fan favorite right now. This is not really so much on the diamond. This is off the diamond, but Shohei Ohtani again making headlines, and this time it's because he announces a children's book featuring his dog Decoy. So this I saw it. This guy is gonna make so much money in his lifetime. Like signing a children's book, and like it's probably I'm gonna buy it. I'm gonna send it to. I might buy it for this collection. If not, I'm gonna buy it for like my buddies and their kids. Like, why not? It's Shohei. Did you see this though?
Yeah, I mean, and my first thing too is it was just, what is it he doing? Since he signed this contract with the Dodgers, he started pitching again. He made the 50-50 club, won the MVP, won a World Series, is the MVP frontrunner right now to this point. It's I was just thinking about this. He's got to be a top 5 human since he signed that contract with the Dodgers. Just what's gone wrong for Shohei since that moment? Nothing. He's been probably the second best player in Major League Baseball behind Aaron Judge, and that's only because he hasn't pitched at all. We all know if he pitches, he's the best player, and there's no debate about it, really.
How much money do you think he's getting paid for this book?
I'm actually
like, I gotta recruit my earnings that I furloughed to later on in my life. He's like, I want to make money now.
He's got to make a good amount off this. I mean, it's cool to see him just make this book out there.
Dude, this book is going to sell a stupid amount of copies. You can already buy it. Like, I think pre-order it from Target for like $22 or something like that. That's so funny. But I will move on off children's books. I just thought, it's wild. He is a top 5 human right now. Like, he's up there with Taylor Swift. Like, the level of awesome and greatness they've brought to the world is, it's a global. He's a global phenomenon. Baltimore. So the intern manager, Tony Mancinalio, hopefully I nailed that. He told reporters yesterday that star pitcher Grayson Rodriguez is now having a renewed elbow soreness. So this is the newest thing on the long laundry list of injuries for G-Rod. And he's missed the entire season due to elbow soreness and a lat strain so far. They shut him down. They're waiting for further evaluation. Where are you at in faith level with G-Rod like ever becoming a thing in Baltimore at this point?
I still believe in it. I just don't know if it's this year. Obviously, not seeming like it. I mean, he's pitched. I mean, I don't know if he's pitched a single game this year. I was game log pulled up in front of me, but he went on the IL in March. And it was always, all right, the Orioles, even when they're struggling early, all right, you're going to get G-Rod back. And it seems like he's got pushed back. At least it's the second time he's gotten pushed back, where at this point, I feel like obviously it depends how severe that is, the elbow inflammation, but I feel like it's to a point where let's just shut it down for the year, man. Get ready for next year, unless you want to come get a start or two at the end of the year. But I think at this point, it's just stay shut down, man. Just get ready for next year. Baltimore as a team, I think, is just planning on that. You're obviously not really playing for here. But it does suck because that was, I mean, Elias caught a lot of shit from people, including myself, on you didn't sign pitching. And obviously he was relying on a guy like Grayson Rodriguez to lead that rotation. And if you rely on one dude to be your number one rotation and he doesn't pitch a single game all year, that's not a great recipe for success.
No, and now everyone's like, oh, go pick up Kyle Bradish. He's going to be the savior of Baltimore. It's like, why? Like, I don't follow that. I don't understand what Mike Elias is doing with the rotation. Like, Sagano's got to go. Charlie Morton, correct team this time, has got to go. I think that they just need to acquire more pitching prospects. It seems that they've done fine with the hitting prospects that they've turned. Like, Holiday's getting better. Gunnar Henderson's there. Adley's a little rough, but it's not like he won't figure things out. And they have Basayo coming up, like, which they should call him up sooner rather than later. They can move O'Hearn. They have They have a lot of guys that can move, and I think a lot of guys that are still like going to make like an improvement in their game. They're very young, that ball club, and I understand what they were trying to do with like trying to sign the veteran pitching, be cheap, and like wait for the team to develop for a little bit. But it's like when the veteran pitching is all, what's their average age? I'm being facetious here, but what is it, like 36? The average starter in their rotation right now, maybe 35, and
I mean,
I'm totally.
obviously Morton brings that up, but you obviously have Sugano, who's
Chicago's like 36 or 38. Yeah, like they have an old rotation, and
I mean,
this is what happens.
if you just go right now in the rotation, Dean Kremer's 29 and a half. Trevor Rogers, who was hurt for a while, now back. He's almost 28 years old. Sugano was about to turn 36. Brandon Young's about to turn 27. Brandon Young, not really a great pitcher either. No stray, sorry. And Charlie Morton, he's going to be 42 by the year end. So that's, that alone brings the rotation.
An average 33 or 34 years old, the average starting pitcher right now. And like, what's their average ERA? Probably like a 4 or something. Maybe. I'm being generous with that one. It's probably a 5, their rotation, but it's bad in Baltimore right now. Boston, they had a little hiccup with Tanner Houck. He announced, the team announced, I should say, that doctors are evaluating him for a setback from his right pronator strain. Don't like to see that, especially when the Red Sox are starting to make a little bit of a run here. And, I think they're going to be super aggressive at the deadline as well. So we'll see how that all shakes out. Hopefully Tanner Houck's A-okay sooner rather than later. Cleveland, they had Paul Sewald hit the IL with the shoulder strain. Don't like that news. He's a solid relief pitcher, especially because people were talking about them possibly shopping Clase. Do you think that Clase is on the block or now?
I think they would probably listen. I think you have to, honestly. If you get a crazy package, and especially these Guardians where they're a low payroll team, I know Clase is honestly a pretty not a bad deal by any means, but for a small market team that's going to have a payroll around $120 million, it's tough to pay a closer $18 to $20 million, whatever he's at. So I would say maybe a 15% chance to move him, 15 to 20%, but I think you got to at least listen in on him.
Yeah, I think so too. I think so too, because like they're not the Milwaukees, they're not the Tampa Bays of pitching factory, but they're right behind them. I think that they do a very good job as well with guys like Tanner Bybee, Gavin Williams. Look, even Shane Bieber was like, I'm pretty sure he was home. I don't want to say homemade, but did he come up with the Guardians as well? Bieber, was he ever on a different team?
I don't know if he's
traded. We can look that up.
He's been a Guardian his whole career, but I don't know if he was drafted by them or not.
Okay, gotcha. I'll look that up as we move forward. One of the bright spots of the White Sox, Shane Smith, All-Star this year, hits the 15-day IL with the ankle sprain. That's sucks because he's like one of their only good players. Hopefully he's back sooner rather than later. Kansas City, they acquired Adam Frazier from Pittsburgh for infielder Cam Devaney. Any thoughts on this, or do you think this is simply a depth play for the bench here for the Royals?
It's got to be a depth play. He's a free agent after this year, and he's put up an 85 WRC plus and a .2 F4, so you're probably not training for him to play every single day, but he has 53 games at second base this year, 13 in left, 7 in right, so there's 3 positions out there. Whatever you want to get Cags a day off there in right field, you can stick him out there. Obviously, you have India there at second, so he's not going to be starting there. So it's got to be a depth play more. Hasn't been great this year. I'm not saying he can't turn it around though.
I think so too. I don't know what the Royals are going to do at the deadline here. They have like movable assets to sell and really get some prospects to help like this Bobby Witt run that they're going to have of having, a superstar on their roster for the time while. Yeah, we'll see. The big injury so far coming out of the All-Star break, third baseman, which stinks because third base already is down this year, and we just listed off that Alec Baum's now injured. Another third baseman, Isaac Paredes of the Houston Astros, he pulled up running. Looks like he has a hamstring strain. He was put on the 10-day IL. He was having a great year, and it really stinks for Houston, who not only still has a lead in the AL West, and I think it's by 4.5 games. I'll double check that. It's by 4 games right now over Seattle. They have 15 guys on the IL right now. Hopefully Arrighetti will come back sooner rather than later, and some other guys, but that's a lot of injuries coming outside the All-Star break. Do you think Houston's going to get aggressive here? What do you think their move is going to be to how do you think they're going to handle the deadline with the success they've been seeing?
It's tricky because they don't really have that many great pieces to move from the farm aspect type of things, but I think they got to go for it. I mean, they could still win the American League. I mean, they're obviously one of the best teams in the American League this year, and we all know. I mean, obviously this isn't the same Astros team that had Kyle Tucker on there, but obviously, I think a big part of it depends on when does Jordan Alvarez come back too, because I think we all trust that Jordan Alvarez, even it's probably not fair to say, but if he gets 10 games before the playoffs start to get some ABs in, I think we all are still going to be terrified of your team facing Jordan Alvarez just for how good he is. I think historically one of the best postseason players of all time for the qualifications that he's at. But I think Houston's got to do something here. I don't. Now I wonder. It depends. Obviously, depends how long Paredes is out for. But if he's out for an extended period of time, you could go get a corner outfielder, move Cam Smith back to third base.
Yeah. Cam Smith, I think he's batting 270 on the year. I'm not looking at it right now, but um, yeah, they could do that. I think they can get really creative. I think Houston, they're really, really confident in the way they run their system. And I think we talked about that stat I heard a few weeks ago, where Houston has drafted more bats than any other team in baseball under their current regime. Like I think, and like we should take an episode to talk about drafting tendencies between teams and like look at it, because I think that could be an awesome episode. Just like, hey, this team on average they draft 58% pitching, 42% batting. Like here's where they rank. Houston loves drafting bats, and I think they're very confident what they do, draft wise, evaluation wise, and development wise. So we'll see. I think that we're going to see them sign a reliever. I think we see them sign a veteran starter or two. I would not be surprised if they get like the Mitch Keller sweepstakes somehow. I don't think they'll have the prospects to win a competitive battle there if two teams are going for Keller hard. Which I saw the Yankees are in on Keller. I saw the Yankees are in on Eugenio Suarez. We don't know what these teams are going to do. Houston's going to be super intriguing to watch here at the deadline. Speaking of Eugenio Suarez, that's how I'm going to close off the show. He is my eye-popping set of the week. First in RBIs now in Major League Baseball with 85. He's third in home runs behind Cal Raleigh and Aaron Judge with 35 and 85 RBIs. So the guy's putting up numbers for Arizona. He has to get dealt. He has to get traded. Like I think Arizona's dumb if they don't trade Suarez for top dollar right now.
I mean, he's
What do
in
you
my mind
think?
he's already traded. I mean, it seems like everyone online, like I just see a lot of Yankee fans, so it just seems like Yankee fans already are saying, "Oh, he's on our team already." But I mean, we all know the
I don't.
team historically in the playoffs, especially lately, if you hit the most home runs in the playoffs in a game, you're gonna win. Eugenio Suarez hits a lot of home runs.
I saw a bunch of Yankee things with Eugenio. I think if it comes down to a bidding war, which Arizona is absolutely going to be calling every single team on the docket saying, you need Suarez? Okay. What can you offer me? The Yankees don't have the prospects in order to pay for Suarez. And it's like, they cannot be trading George Lombard Jr. for Eugenio Suarez. That would be horrible of a deal. So I don't think the Yankees are going to get him. If anything, I think they're going to have to settle and try and get Nolan Arenado and sneak in there somehow if the Cardinals do opt in to selling, which they very well might. The Yankees need a third baseman. I don't think it's going to be Suarez, though. I think he's going to be too expensive, and someone who has more prospect capital is going to be able to afford him.
And I think too,
But
obviously,
keep going. Sorry.
Suarez himself is just. If you just look at his numbers, I mean, if you just look at a guy, I know he's going to hit probably 50 home runs this year. He's got a 929 OPS, but expiring contract, how much would he get? I think he's going to get more than I think some people expect, just because of what other bat on this market would you want over Geno Suarez, especially if you need a third baseman. You want a guy that's going to be able to play in the playoffs and hit bombs for you. He probably the best option out there to do so.
Yeah. I don't. He's him or Sandy Alcantara. Still, even with the results, I still believe are the top two pieces on the market for this go around. I think Alcantara with the control, and as he starts to settle back in, I know the numbers have been rough. The talent is there. We've seen it. I know. Have we seen it post surgery? Not necessarily, but there's been glimpses. And I think with the right coaching, the right organization, we can see that come out of Alcantara. When it comes to the bats, it's got to be Suarez. I don't know who would be a better bat piece right now. Like, guys are intriguing. I don't know if the Braves are going to sell Murphy, but Murphy's a great like tradable asset hitting wise, but he's not Eugenio Suarez right now. That's it from me this week. The one thing I will mention, one shout out, like I mentioned earlier, we got Dean's wedding coming up on Saturday. I know he's going to post a vlog. He already scheduled it. So, the other thing, Dean created another stat this week. Go check out the website for two new stats, PBI and PBI Plus. I'm not going to explain them to you because the article will do that, but go look into them if you're interested in pitching statistics. He's already done this with the hitting side of of the world, working with. I know he's using AI, but he's obviously throwing in formulas and combinations of what he's looking to see. And go check it out. Go check it out. Hagen, anything else from you?
Just congratulations to Dean. Obviously, big weekend for him coming up, and we got to get him on here sometime to talk about obviously this PPI stuff and BBI too. He never came on the podcast to talk about that with us. So I still want to hear him talk about that with us. And then just one funny thing I saw, Codified tweeted this out earlier. It was Isaac Paredes' home runs in his career. He has 91. He hasn't hit one to the right side of left center field. Every single of his 91 home runs has been pulled. Go look that up on Codify. If you look up Isaac Paredes, might be one of the first things that comes up. It's honestly, it's a beautiful spray chart of his home runs. It's really fun, and you realize why he's on the Astros because of that.
Yeah, nuts. Actually, send me that. I'm gonna take a look into that. All right. Outside of that, thanks for listening. Bye.